Welcome to another fast lane car mashup. Or is it a matchup, Nathan?
It's a matchup. These babies compete with each other.
That's right. I've got the brand new Jaguar XJL, and you have?
I've got the 2014 Lexus LS460.
And both these cars have one thing in common, which is?
They're not German.
That's right, and they're all-wheel drive. And coming up next, we're going to take them up the Gauntlet to see which one's better on the fast lane car. Starting from the back of this Jaguar, you'll notice that these taillights look like slash marks from a cat. And that's on purpose, of course. The designer said that that's what he was going for. I have to say, I love the look of the XJL. The L stands for long. And when you stretch out the wheelbase of this Jaguar, it makes it look, well, like a classic executive saloon. And from the front, I mean, look at this gorgeous grille. Look at these beautiful projector beam headlights. Everything works on this car. It is just a gorgeous, gorgeous car. So does this pussycat growl? Well, I'll leave it up to you. It's got a little bit of a raspy edge to it, but the 6-cylinder is not as deep or throaty as that supercharged 8, but it's okay. Here we go. Nathan, Gauntlet in the Jaguar. 0 to 60 getting on the ramp. I've got the Solo DL. It's got a lot of power.
Thank God for superchargers.
Yeah, and there's 60. Oh, that's pretty darn fast. Why don't you show them?
I got it. You drive. 10.14.
10.14. Uphill at about 9,000 feet of elevation.
Over 9,000 feet of elevation. So, what it shows is having a blower helps a lot.
Yeah. Especially a supercharger up here. It's really 340 horsepower for such a big car. Doesn't seem like it'd be a lot, but you know what? It's plenty.
It is. I mean, obviously, you and I would both love to have the big V8 in here, or even a big V12. Can you imagine that?
Oh, yeah.
But as it is, this is a very quick car, and it's still light on its feet, despite the fact that it's massive. I mean, it's a big car.
Yeah, and speaking of that 8-cylinder supercharged, I've got a story I can tell you about that.
Sure.
So there's a place in Boulder where you pull onto the highway off of a stoplight, right?
Okay.
And so I pull up, and not this one, but the XJ short. 460 horsepower supercharged beast.
Okay.
And next to me is this woman in X6M.
Oh, okay.
All right. And big blonde, big hair, and she looks at me, and I look at her, and this is getting on the highway. It's on, man. It is on completely. Now,
okay.
That X6M has more horsepower. Twin turbo, I think about 550 horsepower versus my 460. But this Jaguar, and actually that one as well, there's a lot of aluminum, so it's a lot lighter.
Yeah.
So that one, I'm thinking the difference was about 800 pounds.
Okay.
All right, so she looks at me, I look at her, and we floor it, and she gets the whole shot, because I had the rear-wheel drive version, and she just takes off like a scalded cat. And she was expecting to crush me, right? She had that look like, I'm going to crush you. And then the Jaguar is slowly starting to creep up on her. She keeps looking over, and she keeps seeing the nose of the Jaguar inching up. And then, of course, I look down, and we were doing a speed limit, which is crazy. So I'm like, okay, I got to back off. I need my driver's license. But the look on her face was priceless, because she was like used to serving the rules on anybody that she took on. And the Jag just kept up with her like, hey, no problem, babe. German power, we'll take it on. Under the hood of this big cat is a 3-liter V6 that is supercharged, that puts out 340 horsepower and 332 pound-foot of torque. It is mated to an 8-speed automatic transmission with paddle shifters. Now, the cool thing about the Jaguar is that it is rear-wheel bias, but it can appropriate power to all 4 wheels when needed. So it is a very good all-wheel drive winter luxury car.
I love the new power plants that Jaguar's producing. It's different than what I was expecting. I never thought in a million years they would ever do anything but normally aspirated 6-cylinder engines and V12s. And over the past decade, progressively more and more, I've been surprised every year by Jaguar. And now all-wheel drive, are you kidding me?
Yeah, you know, I was lucky enough to go out last year and test drive this in Quebec, Canada, on the ice. And I think what's happened, and Jaguar will admit to this, is all-wheel drive has become a standard for any luxury car, right? Audi is Quattro all-wheel drive, BMW X-Drive all-wheel drive. You have to have it now. It's no longer just something that specific brands have it. If you sell a luxury car, you need all-wheel drive, and that's why Jaguar had to put all-wheel drive in this car.
I would agree. And I mean, look at the lesser all-wheel drive cars that are either in there or coming in. I mean, Hyundai's about to have a new Genesis with all-wheel drive. Chrysler, they have all-wheel drive. A lot of car companies have it now standard based on what is needed by the customer. If you buy a luxury car, in many cases you want all-wheel drive. Yeah,
and you know, even if you're in places like Florida where you think, well, I don't need, you know, when you have a lot of rain, all-wheel drive gives you that sure-footedness that you want. Now let's talk about the Gauntlet. This is starting at Dillon, Colorado, and goes up to the top of the Eisenhower Tunnel.
Nearly 12,000 feet.
Nearly, yeah, 9 to about 11 and some change, give or take.
Yeah.
And people might be asking, well, why are we running these cars up? But because these are luxurious all-wheel drive cars, and these are the kind of cars that people will be taking up this kind of road. Nathan, what do you think of the interior of this fine pussycat?
Gorgeous, gorgeous, gorgeous. I cannot believe how far Jaguar's come in, say, about 10 years. It's like being, you know what it's like? It's like being in an executive jet. That's what it's like.
It is like an executive jet. I mean, look at this wood on the side over here. There's just a whole forest was...
It's huge, but look at, it's like a yacht as well. Look at that, how it goes up and around the dash. That is just an absolutely beautiful touch.
Yeah, and I have to tell you, this steering wheel is one of the largest steering wheels in any car. It reminds me of like a Rolls-Royce steering wheel. It's so massive.
I think everything they've done here, they've done to the level of 11 instead of 10.
Yeah, I will say one criticism of the interior, though. It is starting to feel a little stodgy. You know, it's a little bit too old school, and I would like it to be just a little bit more cutting edge and a little bit less, you know, British, I don't know, country house.
Maybe you're a little too old school, you old man. Look, if you want that, you get it out of the LS, okay? Because that's what the Lexus gives you as contemporary. This is proper. This is old school. This is English.
Fair enough. So this is our non-German luxury car matchup. It's really not even a matchup. It's a matchup. I mean, these cars directly compete against each other.
They do, and both of them hover around the $80,000 range. The Lexus LS460 is, what, about $82,000 and change.
And this is 86.
86 and change.
So, I mean, they're within probably, this one's 340, so 20 horsepower, but up here at elevation, this one actually may have effectively more power because supercharger is making up for the, and they both have 8-speed transmissions.
Yep.
And I gotta tell you, Nathan, this thing is just purring up the Gauntlet. I am not even a quarter into the throttle. It is just like butter. It is smooth, and I love the long wheelbase. It gives this car a supple and sublime ride.
It is a hell of a good ride, isn't it?
Oh my God, it's so nice.
I feel spoiled even sitting in this car. I really do. The LS is great, don't get me wrong, but this car has much more presence than that car, and the ride in this thing is extraordinary.
And having said that, though, it is a pain in the ass to park. It has a turning radius. You would need this entire highway to make a U-turn. I am not joking. You get about halfway around a regular 2-lane road before you hit the other side. It's so terrible.
Yeah, I mean, the bottom line is the only way you can fix that is like with four-wheel steering, and I don't think Jag's about to do that anytime soon.
Yeah, I get a feeling that a lot of people who buy the long wheelbase version of this car are in the back seat. They don't care about turning radius.
Yeah, you say that, but then again, there are a lot of people who like to chauffeur their family around in comfort and like the idea of having a vehicle that, frankly speaking, is as comfortable as any Bentley I've been in.
All right, Nathan, let's face it. In the long version, this is where it's all about, the back seat. And this is ultimately comfortable. I love the back seat of this car, and I can actually see myself, as much as I love to drive, just being driven back here.
This is just, you know, I feel like a dictator who's about to go and order my driver to run over some dissidents. It's great. Awesome, awesome car. Ugh.
You know, and you've got, of course, all the luxury items that you'd want. You've got the dual sunroof.
Mirrors that pop down, so I can check my lipstick.
Yes, you've got your own heating and cooling controls, and of course you've got your own heated and cooled seats.
And you know, the bottom line here is that this is a vehicle that's built to travel in style, right? I mean, you arrive when you come in this car. Yeah,
you expect people to come out of the back seat, not the front seat when you arrive. And look, just for you, Nathan, look, you've got a little vanity mirror right here.
Yeah, I was already doing my lipstick up and trimming my beard. Another thing that I really do like about these seats is the fact that these seats are actually big enough to support my thighs. I don't even have long legs like you do, but I mean, look how far they come out. A lot of back seats are really, really short in length. Look how long these are.
Hey, Kyle, move the camera down. This is where I drive. Look how much room I have for my... Look at that. I mean,
he's 6'2", and 6'3"
opulent.
hair. So, I mean, yeah, I mean, it's ridiculous amounts of space. I deliberately went back on this one because Kyle, the cameraman, likes to sit like a pimp. So I went way back.
Yeah.
And look, I still have room. I mean, this is incredible.
You know what the crazy thing, though, is for a potential ski car, let's say you're in Aspen, you're going to go skiing, these seats do not have pass-through. No pass-through.
What is that? There's no pass-through?
No, nothing. It's just nothing. And they don't fold. So if you're going to be taking this car skiing, you're going to have to put the skis on the roof, man. Now, there are some issues that I have with this car, namely this little user interface infotainment system. It is incredibly slow. Watch. When I hit, like, audio, 1,1000, 2,1000, it just switched there. Yeah, it's really slow. It takes forever. And this has been around a couple of years now, and I thought by now they'd have it sorted out, but they still haven't figured it out. I don't know why. Yeah, that's a problem. And you know, one of my issues is the hockey puck gear select. I like a firm rod to hold on to. Yes, you do. I like it big and able to... What are you talking about? Well, we're about to go to the Johnson Tunnel. Okay, so, all right, fair enough. The point is I like to actually your wife likes a firm rod to hold on to. We're not going there. All right. But the reality is that having a little knob rotating, I've never liked it on this vehicle, and then frankly not on the Rovers either. Yeah, no, it's not grand. Having said that, Nathan, we are at the top, and we are getting 11.8 mpg. It's not too bad. Once again, supercharging helps. Yeah, supercharging, well, it's thirsty, but up here it certainly does do very well in terms of power delivery. It's smooth, it's supple. I mean, you know, I felt like I could drive that thing up not to 12,000 feet, but to 20,000 feet or higher. You know, I gotta say though, right now in this tunnel, the noise in here is a little louder than I anticipated. There's a little bit of tire noise. Can you hear that? Yeah, for a luxury car, you'd want it to be very quiet, but it's nothing I couldn't live with. I'm not saying it's crazy, it's just louder, a little louder than I anticipated. Yeah. So, I think it's time we compare the British standard for luxury, which this is, yes, and take on the Japanese. Are you ready to take the LS up the Gauntlet? I think it's going to surprise you. You think? Yeah. Think it'll be a lot quieter, a lot smoother? I think it'll be quieter. I don't think it'll be any smoother. You cannot beat this ride. Now, Nathan, I know you're in love with this vehicle. It's beautiful, it's luxurious, it's everything you want a British car to be, but if I were to get this particular car, I would get the short wheelbase version with the supercharged 8-cylinder. If you're going to go for it, you might as well go for it all the way. Okay, I'm halfway there with you. But, you know, it's not fair to say which one we really want until we take that one up the Gauntlet, right? So next time, we're going to take the Lexus LS up the Ike Gauntlet and, well, come back for our conclusions at the end of that video. As always, this is Roman. And Nathan. Saying thanks for watching. And remember, come back for the Lexus taking on the Ike Gauntlet.